Welcome, 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 everyone, to a slow adventure into reality. Well, I think we've lost Senor Robert. Robert?
I'm here.
It's the internet's already starting to jump over here. So we're gonna turn the video off for this show. Apparently, we're having some kind of internet traffic site thing here. So we're just gonna put some pictures up while we're doing this. All right, everybody, come on into the internet webs room. Robert's going to put up some memes for you guys to laugh at. Oh, look at all those people who already raised their hands without me telling them to raise their hand. So everyone that has their hand raised before I told you to raise your hand, lower your hands. That's right. Amanda, Trent, Braden, iPhone, Devika, lower your hands. That's right. I didn't tell anyone to raise their hands yet. Yes, so we're having a little bit of internet issues here right now. Probably everyone is, with everyone going to be going through a series of internet issues. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of a speechy here before we start talking about Senor Coronavirus. And I have said the word and demonetized the video already. It doesn't matter anymore. The truth has no obligation to make sense to you. Ponder that for a minute. How often have you demanded truth make sense to you? Okay. In the coming days and weeks, many of this stuff will not make sense to you. Do not demand it to become true. Part of understanding truth is to know how to read a roadmap to help make sense. Not everyone knows how to read a roadmap. And the roadmap is your own inner knowingness in this whole wide world that we live in. Only you can make sense of your truth. What is possible for you is not always possible for others. Ponder that. What is possible for you is not always possible for others. And we cannot judge others who are in this similar situation. Okay? You cannot allow others' truth to overwhelm you. External validation is not a remedy for uncertainty, hesitation that breeds doubt of your divine nature. How many of you are seeking external validation during this great journey right now? Think about that. Who needs external validation? Who's demanding external validation right now? Okay. External validation, papow, is not a remedy for understanding, or not a remedy for uncertainty or hesitation that breeds doubt. The lack of ability to recognize your innate talents to read maps will be the byproduct of understanding truth automatically. You need your own you need to own your ability to read through the practice and trial and error that has self-acceptance, self-validation through victories of understanding the ever-evolving truth. The ever-evolving truth is the key here, because truth is constantly a form of evolution. The lack of ability to recognize your innate talents to read maps will be the byproduct of understanding truth automatically. You need to own your ability to read through practice and trial and error that has self-acceptance, self-validation through victories of understanding the ever-evolving truth. No structure in this world is ever obligated to tell you the truth. Do you hear that? No structure in this world is ever obligated to tell you the truth. No one in this world is obligated to match your version of your truth. Truth is a resonance frequency via effort, investigation, will, and self-discovery. Like attracts like in the realms of truth. Life as we know it is going through a redefining process. Who knows when and where are still an infinite potential of outcomes. We at this moment and the many moments to come have an obligation to ourselves to make humans great again. Knowing the truth is your responsibility and no one else's. When the tsunami of fear porn washes up under the beaches of your belief, will you be ready for the surge of fear and have the capacity to stand firm in your own beliefs and to not take on the rampant spreading of the fear virus? Humanity has many choices in these infinite moments of now. It takes one choice to summon courage, be vigilant, and know your actions are supported by the universe. The universe is not working against you. It's working for you. To learn this as a truth, you work with spirit, just spirit, and know that the path is not broken and the way is clear. Our ancestors have mapped this out for us long ago. Now we must learn to read the maps, follow the path to greater awareness. Aho. Well, everyone, we are under some very, very strange times. Okay? Did any of these conversations connect to anyone here? Go on into that chat room and make a conversation piece about truth. What is truth? We are going to be talking about some of the coronavirus today, and we're going to be taking all sorts of questions and stuff. So, truth is understandable. Is it really? How does one understand truth? Through resonance, investigation. No one in this world is obligated to match your version of truth. Truth is a resonance frequency via effort, investigation, and self-discovery. Like attracts like. There we go. We got some people really typing away there. So Robert, why don't you put up those memes over there? And now we're going to ask people to click on that participants button and raise their hands if they want to have a conversation with me. We are opening the conversations to coronavirus and anything else that's going on there. And I know there's a lot of you who want my reading. Okay, if you're interesting, and maybe I will, or if you ask me a cool question first, something for something, quid pro quo. All right, Robert, spin up that wheel of callers and see who wants to have a conversation with me.
Okay, first person up is Francis Cabrandolini.
Francis Candobrini, are you there?
Yes. Hi, thank you.
How you doing? Where are you calling from today?
Italy.
Italy. Oh, welcome to the show. My heart goes out to you today and all of your compatriots in your land.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. This is the first time I've been listening to you for some time, but this is my first time that I do actually the conversation. So I'm really happy to be able to talk to you right away.
Good. Have you been on? How long have you been on lockdown for?
So I don't even count the days anymore. I am here with my baby. I used to live in the UK. I have a flat in the UK and I have a company there. I trade with the US. And we gave birth in November. And I decided to spend this time in Italy near my family, better food, better weather, and help from my mom. And my boyfriend, who is English, went back to pick up his car, willing to drive back with his own car just before they locked down Italy. And,
Ouch.
And at the moment, we face so many uncertainties. And I was thinking about the truth, the way you started this conversation, that what I'm feeling right now, that we have two different versions of the truth, as he resonates with completely different information regarding the situation than I do. And there's choices for us to make and think how to reconciliate with the baby and together, where to live in Italy, in the UK, and I'm not sure exactly what question to ask you or how
I know,
to.
I know what's going on here. First thing, some of this is postpartum. You've only been, had the baby, what, 6 months ago?
4.
4 months ago. Yeah, okay. 4 months. You're in the beginning of postpartum and your husband is not there for you physically, right?
Yeah, physically.
And that's tough. Don't make any decisions now. Okay. When it comes to having this different views on the coronavirus, it's all going to change in a month from now. A month from now, he's going to get told by the news sources that he believes in, or whatever it is, a whole different set of truths. And in 2 months from now, there's going to be a whole different set of truths for the whole world. And 3 months from that, all those truths are going to be replaced by another truth. Okay.
Yeah, I'm extremely optimistic. I see a chance to transform our society through this, and he's the exact opposite. So I understand.
Well, that's his journey. That's his journey.
Yes, exactly.
Is he a good human?
Yes, he's a good human.
Okay. He's got a good heart.
He has good art. Yeah.
Okay. You love him?
Yes, we haven't been together for a long time, but I got pregnant right away, and we have an amazing baby. So I believe this is love. I don't even know what's love. Anyway, this baby now, especially in these dark times, is my light. So I can only see this as our transformations, as human, and
as well as the people that are around you.
Yeah, I'm with my parents. He's with his family as well, and I also see this as an important time of reconciliation with your own self.
Absolutely.
And maybe you need to be your family of origin in order to go through this process.
Okay.
I'm blessed. I live in front of the sea. We're renting a beautiful place on the sea, so at least I'm locked in.
At least you got the best place to be in quarantine.
Yes, it's a beautiful quarantine with a cute baby and the sea. Today I saw a yellow butterfly as I went out to take some sun, which I interpret as a very good sign, but I don't know exactly what it means. Or what kind of reading are you able to do right now?
Okay, first little question is how do I put this? What is the nature of the job that you were doing? Were you trading stock market or trading goods?
I sell advertising.
Okay. And you're on maternity leave now?
More or less. I trade through a UK company, and I have a contract with a US company which owns the locations where we have the advertising. And I work with companies there. So I also may face some loss in people canceling or because at the moment, I guess they're in California. So the shopping center will be closed, or most of the shops in the shopping center will be closed, less traffic, less value of the advertising. I don't think neither UK or US is going to have the crash that Italy is having.
No, the whole world's going to be crushed. The whole world.
Well, that would be good because we need to start from scratch. But I see the maneuver now are really to save the economies.
No, we don't need to start from scratch. We need to start without corruption. If we restart with any form of corruption, they're just going to repeat what is happening again. So I want to make things very, very, very clear. This might be the chance at the awakening, whatever you want to call it. But if the restart still has corruption in it, there's just another bait and switch. They pull the rug out from under us again. Okay? So people are going to have to be proactive to keeping the world government and all their individual governments on their toes. Okay? Everyone, they've got all the power right now. They brought in $3.5 billion of helicopter money. The European brought in $750 billion of helicopter money. And these are just printing money. They are destroying the economy, but that's the only way to save the black magic money market system that's out there, because it's just magic creating money. And right now, this little coronavirus is causing it all to implode left and right, up and down. And, there are companies that during the last big global bailout, what did they do with the money? Nothing beneficial for us human beings. Guess what? They bought their own stock back, $4.5 trillion of their own stock. so that they could line their own pockets and their own board's pockets. Okay? We have to make sure that never happens again. So we're all going to need to be online activists and learn how to make online marches that tell the 1%ers and the governments up there, we see what you're doing and we are not going to allow it. Okay?
But there's a trillion conspiracy theory right now. So I don't know really how radically can the world change.
You're in marketing. You know how fast words can make change. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a tag and a hook line. Okay? That's all it takes.
That's true.
Okay.
However, like for example, in a reality like Italy, most of the people like are not so relaxed at home waiting for the awakening because they are fearing, not being able to meet the month's hand, or their company shutting down, factory closing down.
No football to watch, no sports to watch, no places to go, no restaurants, no cafeterias.
Yeah, beside that, like even all the people working in the tourist industry that will find themselves without a job, with Italy being one of the most disadvantaged economy in the European Union.
Well, it's not it's not the most disadvantaged.
Not the most, but one of,
close.
Spain.
It's close, but it's not the most. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not. This is a question maybe I can ask you to see if we're gonna be able to move away from the Babylonian money system.
Absolutely.
Will Europe cancel the debts after recover from the economic crash?
We have a lot of stories to be told before it gets to that point. I want you to think of it in the next 3 months or the next 4 months. They're going to be reading us a trilogy of books that are global narratives, and each one's going to counter the last book. Once the first book, it's this story, the second book, it's this story, and the third book, it's this story. Each one counteracting the other story, because conspiracy theory is going to have to keep them honest. That's what it comes down to. Okay, conspiracy theory is going to understand that they're going to try to restart the economy with the corruption still there. And we have to make sure they can't do that. And how do we do that during a time when everyone's afraid? Global markets are going to shut down. Okay? We're right about 30%, a 30% drawdown right now. 35% drawdown in the whole markets worldwide, like $17 trillion worldwide. But the economy has been oversold since 2008. Okay? It was never that valuable to begin with. And what they have to do is come up with a new valuation of stocks. So when the economy goes to be restarted, there's not going to be a jubilee. The debt is going to go and be housed in a completely separate bank on a separate set of ledgers. And the system, the SWIFT system, will continue to operate, but it will not be operating as debt-based currency, debt-based economy, or fiat cash. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that will be a big change.
But it will be up to us to make sure we don't allow corruption in at any level. We absolutely have to make sure that the banks and the restart companies don't do stock buybacks out of the debt market. The debt market will still be there. There's always going to be a market for debt, but it's going to be separate. And there's going to be a lot of companies who are going to go bankrupt. Like the majority of hotel chains are going to go bankrupt, are going to require a complete and total corporate bailout. But the country
what about the old debt?
That old debt's still going to exist. They're not going to erase it.
They're going
to put it on a separate set of books, like many corporations do, and put it into its own separate company and start a new global company.
So you think that in terms of number of deaths and cases of infection, we are really just at the beginning?
Yes, we're just at the minor beginning. In the next 9 to 14 days, well, actually, I said that last week. So in the next 5 to 7 days, we're going to see a complete change in the way it's reporting. We're finally starting to test here in the United States. Britain is still behind. Right there in Italy, you're still testing, but you're still getting a lot of positive tests. Okay.
And do you think it's going to reach the south of Italy? Because we only have really outbreaks in the north of Italy?
No, they're just not telling you. They're just not telling you. You have outbreaks down there. They're just not telling you. They're not in the same level of mass. That's why this quarantine is going to have to go for at least 90 days, if not 6 months.
Oh my God.
Right. And that is what will make the South immune to the great breakouts like the North. Because if you come out too early, it will start spreading double as worse as it comes out, comes back 2 times as hard after you come out of the quarantine.
And how do I meet my boyfriend again now that everything is closed? France is closed, Italy is closed, UK may close.
Where's he at right now?
He's in London.
He's in London. Honestly, there's going to be no time soon that he's going to be able to get out and get on an airplane, let alone cross the border.
Yeah, he wants to drive down. I'm really scared about that.
It's not going to happen. The Italian border is not going to let him through. There's a bunch of other borders that are completely closed. Austria's border is closed. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Greek borders are closed. All the borders are closed. Majority of the borders are closed.
It's like the war, basically.
They want that. They want people to believe there's a war on the virus and the virus has a war on us. But in fact, it's a natural thing that's spreading very fast via our own transmission systems.
Who wants to believe us that it is the war?
There's really negative beings out there who want to keep us in adrenaline response by using the term war, 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 war. You don't go to war with a virus. You're using war type techniques to make it draconian response. Medicine stops the virus. Hospitals and doctors and healers stop it.
And you say it's completely natural. The virus is a response to the evolution.
Yes. And there's going to be all the conspiracy theories that are out there right now. When it first came out, the Chinese said the Americans put it there. The Americans said the Chinese put it there. There's no truth to any of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I'm scared about is that my boyfriend doesn't believe it. And so he goes out all the time. In London, they just advise people to stay at home. They didn't lock them down. And he doesn't accept those totalitarian manners of fascist, blah, blah, blah. And I'm afraid of contagion through him.
In what manner? Through his conversation?
No, in the case we plan somehow reuniting, and
it's going to be a long time. I want you to understand it's going to be a really long time before you reunite. Well over 3 months. Unless he knows how to immigrate himself into a country and sneak past borders. Okay? If he does, he's going to write a book about it. Okay? If he does, write a book about it. But right now, it's quite possible this coming weekend they're going to shut down all global travel worldwide. That includes freight traffic. Okay?
You know, in a way, I want to be very optimistic and see this as a way for people to cooperate. And then I'm scared of being infected by my own boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. That's the dual-edged sword of what's been going on here. We want everyone to get together and everything's going to be all right. Yeah?
So
one love, the whole 9 yards. But guess what? We got a lot of fear to go through before we get to that one love moment. We're all working together in harmony.
We should just stay where we are with the people in our own house at the moment until everything is over, which is going to be a minimum of 6 months.
Could be. This is what I think is going to happen is they're going to tease us after 3 weeks and then say, you've got to stay in more and you got to stay in another 3 weeks and then another 3 weeks. And then they're going to tell us you got to be in 2 more months and then 2 more months are going to come, but you got to be in 3 more weeks. And then they're going to tell us you got to be in 2 more months. And that's going to take us to the end of August. And more than likely, we won't come out of it until mid-September. Okay? For the first, and that's if it doesn't, well, you're going to be scared the whole time. And the government and the media is going to try to keep the fear up very high. But we've got to find ways to disconnect from the fear and find our own internal selves to do ritual, ceremony, and prayer at the times you would never have been able to do it before.
No, scare of being infected by other people, for example, when they say, okay, now it's safe to travel again. Even because I don't believe in a vaccination for this mutant virus. So we're going to have to take a risk sooner or later of being infected.
Yes, and there's going to be some very draconian measures in place where your child's going to have to get the vaccination to it. So and you're going to have to figure. You're going to have to figure out how to fake it.
That's a good point, because basically, then this is the totalitarian state that most of the conspiracy theory are believing, that this is a maneuver to vaccinate us all, and
you have a worldwide. You have a world now. The whole microchip thing. I'm going to step on a lot of toes, but is bullshit. Okay, bullshit. They do want to vaccinate everyone. And I'm not saying for you to not get vaccinated, but also saying that not all vaccines are bad. It's the order in which you take vaccines in, especially with young children. Okay. There is a thing with conspiracy theory because it has nothing new. It just regurgitates and shits out old material and pretends it to be new over and over again. And then the people get afraid and afraid and afraid and afraid. Guess what? 5G was supposed to launch this year. Did you know there's only 2 active 5G towers in the whole world? 2 5G towers in the whole world. Guess what? They were supposed to get money this year to build hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of towers and don't have the money to build them. 5G is not going to be rolled out. So everyone who's been fearing about 5G for the last 4 years, guess what? Big scam. Big giant fear scam.
So the vaccination in order to travel, you think is going to be a reality?
When it comes to this virus, yes. I believe it will be. When it comes to this virus, it'll be on your passport.
Wow. Well, then this is control.
They have every right to do it. Okay, they will have a world of fear eating out of their hands. Okay, you just have to figure out how to fake it. That's what people have been doing with their children's and vaccines. You find a nurse that's sympathetic to you and you fake the paperwork.
Good point. I'm in Italy. Imagine we have the biggest number of mandatory vaccination, and I'm really...
There's plenty of nurses that will take some cash behind the thing. They've learned from their cousins and uncles who are in the mafia. An offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, never thought about it, actually. We imagine, and I'm Italian.
Yeah, exactly. I had to make you an offer. Exactly.
I'll take this then. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, darling, I got to let you go and move on to my next caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of who wants to have a conversation and see who we come up with next.
Alrighty, Melanie Lara, you're unmuted with Andrew.
Melanie, are you there? Melanie.
Hello.
Hello, where
Hi.
are you calling from today?
I am calling from the Bay Area.
Bay Area, Melanie. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm so excited right now. Sorry.
How excited are you? Excited enough that you're gonna have a snort?
Yeah.
So how are you handling this coronavirus shutdown everywhere?
I feel good. I'm happy I'm with my family.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing was that we were supposed to get my grandmother, who's in a memory care unit in Texas, back to California, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. But she's safe. So
good.
Yeah.
So what did you want to talk to me about today?
I guess for myself, I've been having trouble at night because I feel like I am taking in way too much information about everything that's going on, and it seems like there's always something new to learn. And guess I just wanted to talk to you about it and just see
Okay.
like maybe
Inf-
what could be going on at night
inf-
for me, like why I
inf-
can't sleep.
Yep. Information overload is a very difficult thing to go through, especially because we're having spring equinox energies now. Okay. How long has this lack of sleep stuff been going on? 3-4 weeks now?
I believe it started on the Toltec New Year. I think that was like last week.
Okay, that's the beginning of the solstice. Yeah. So sorry,
Yeah.
equinox energies. So there's a balance of light energy. At the same time, there's global fear being pumped through the airwaves. Now, the first thing to understand is you have to learn how to actively disconnect from the audio and video sources in the house. Is there someone that plays the TV all day long there?
No.
Is there some information source turned on all the time, like the internet or?
If it is, it's me searching on my phone. That would be.
There you go. There's your answer.
Me.
You've got
It's
to.
me.
Do you ever look at your usage time? Are you on an iPhone?
I am on iPhone. Yeah.
Click on the usage app right now. You know how to do that, where it tells you how
Oh.
often you're on your phone?
No, I do not have I'm on my laptop right now since I'm
Okay.
doing this with you.
Okay.
But
you should very much do that, and you got to cut that in half.
okay.
Okay. And just because you're under quarantine doesn't mean you can't go out and walk. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Are you have kids at your house?
No children.
So how many people are in your home now?
3 of us. Yeah.
Okay. You guys getting along?
Yes, everything is good. I think with the family, I think it's actually allowing us to have deeper conversation and like in ways I think we weren't able to before. So that's been
coming together. Okay.
Yeah.
So first thing to understand is you got to disconnect from your phone and disconnect from the internet and cut your usage time in half. That's the first part. The next part is you got to go to the bed that you're sleeping in and observe it and spend time in the room looking at your bed and trying to view how you flip and turn, move and go. Okay. And what I want you to do is put your phone on video before you fall asleep. You may use up a lot of battery, but just let it record yourself. Most people, when you click, as soon as you click record and you put the camera down and you'll never be able to fall asleep because you know something's watching you. Would you agree with that?
Oh, record myself while I'm sleeping, you're saying?
While you're trying to fall asleep.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that when you go back and look at it, you're going to be able to see different forms of body language about the anxiety that you're experiencing. As I'm scanning your energy frequency, you're on far too high adrenal glands right now. Your adrenal glands are running and running and running, and your brain isn't actually entering theta long enough before another wave of adrenaline comes and puts you back into alpha state.
Okay.
Okay. You've got to do something that really occupies the brain during the day. Something different than you normally do. Maybe this is a time to pick up Sudoku puzzles or start drawing or trying to sing or do something that really requires the brain to build new neural pathways.
Okay. Oh, you said sing. I do sing. Yeah, but I haven't been these past few weeks because the guy that I work with, I don't really know what's going on with him. I kind of feel like something's happening because we haven't been able to meet up, but I definitely feel like my brain, it like holds so much and moves so fast. I don't know what to do with it, actually.
And that's why you're not sleeping. Okay? That's why you're not sleeping. You got to figure out to allow the brain to go into deep relaxation. Have you ever used melatonin?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, that's the first thing it's a natural way for people to fall asleep naturally and stay asleep. You can go out and get melatonin pills or drops. The drops act much faster than the pills. Generally, the pills you take 90 minutes before you go to bed. The drops were within the sublingual drops are about 10 to 15 minutes and you'll be good and ready to stay asleep.
Okay.
So you've got to begin a nightly practice of shutting your brain down. Okay, meditations, very good to do that. But I'm willing to bet your brain isn't challenged enough during the day that one of the reasons you're not staying or having very light sleep is because you need something to stimulate you more.
Yes. Okay.
In the past, have you had intimate relationships that can help that?
And could you be a little more specific? I'm not sure what you mean.
Sex.
Orgasm.
Orgasm.
Yeah.
Letting go. Kind of hard with mom and dad in the house.
Yes, I definitely been. Well, currently, no. That's been something because I'm in school. I'm in grad school, and they talk a lot. I mean, I'm studying Chinese medicine, so they talk about a lot of sexual transmutation and not really doing that, and so it's been a struggle, I think, because I'll like build up, but I'm thinking like, oh, just do the creative things like paint or sing and do that. So
it's not working for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you can't go out and find yourself a coronavirus, buddy, you have to go visit the sex toy store.
Oh dear. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it is okay, because I was kind of feeling like bad a little bit about that, of like feeling the need and like even doing that and being like, oh my gosh, like
don't ever feel guilty about that part.
Okay.
Okay. You're studying Chinese medicine. You know about energy. What is the stagnant energy, sexual energy going to do to you?
It has to come out. I don't know.
Or it does what? Keeps you awake at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is more. It's the sexual energy that is going.
It's just not being used. Okay. Can you use sexual energy for singing? Absolutely, you can. But what might that do at the end? Make you very horny. Okay. You just had one impassioned, one hell of a song. God damn it. Where's my man?
Oh man. Yeah. I guess like trusting someone too on like such a short amount of time is like the other part. But I guess if you're saying it's fine. I don't want to lose like leak out so much of that energy. I want more of an exchange.
Well, it's coronavirus time, so it's going to be kind of tough to find that unless it's meant to be.
Yeah. Okay. I had another question about sleep though that isn't.
Go ahead.
Okay. Because even before this happened with everything like going on with the coronavirus, I was having issues with sleeping as well, but it was more like not that I'm like scared a lot, but sometimes when like it would be dark and it was actually nighttime, I would like the silence almost would be like very loud for me. I'd have to play audiobooks or things like that because I'm not trying to say, I mean, yeah, maybe a little something like hearing things in the silence and it not being.
What is the annoying fact? The fact that you're hearing things? Or does your mind have to define it?
I think my mind defines it as hearing.
Then get some white noise generators. If your mind is needing to define it, for lack of better words, it's a sleep psychosis.
Okay.
It's the parasympathetic that's still trying to claim control over you, even though that's not the parasympathetic's job. It's to take over and let you be asleep, not keep you awake. So in Chinese medicine, what have you studied about the parasympathetic and how it controls the body in sleep?
Well, that it needs to be the switch, that it's not switching, I guess. If my brain,
it's not allowing you to reach that state where there's a chemical excretion that allows sleep paralysis. Okay, it's allowing a little bit of alpha brain waves into the slowing down state, which is any slightest noise, the mouse farting next door, you're going to want to, your brain wants to define it. That also means your empathy is on overdrive, your spiritual senses. Got to learn to turn them off. Okay? That comes back to a nightly ritual and practice, telling your body you're shutting down, you're putting your pajamas on, we're loving ourselves. Some mantra, ritualistic expression that enforces this rule to the body and the mind. Mind, you're shutting the hell up. No more defining what's around us.
There was, I think maybe a couple weeks ago, you were talking about reclaiming a dream space, and there was a healer that I was working with that I felt like I had to make a very clear boundary, and he was telling me a lot of things about where I was going with him in dreamland, and it actually frightened me a bit. And so I thought that helped a little bit, that like there was something you were saying, like I claim my space, my dream, something like that. So I did a little bit of that, but I was just wondering, like, is it really just my own sleep psychosis and nothing else that's like trying
If you're
to?
asking if there's an external ghost out there, no, there's no external ghost that is haunting you to keep this. This is your genius brain figuring out how to stay genius awake and not allowing you to sleep. And part of being in Chinese medicine is dealing with the parts of you that are already super woke. Okay?
Super woke.
Super woke. You need to know people. Your intuition about them instantly is there. It's not a judgment.
Okay.
Okay? Part of being a good practitioner is knowing people at an instant instinctual spiritual level.
Yes. Okay.
An instinctual spiritual level. You also have to learn to turn that off. Okay? You have to just learn to turn it off by giving the body instructions. Okay? So you can start doing acupressure upon yourself.
Okay.
Okay? Hand massage, deep tissue hand massage really works well. Activating all the different meridian lines if there's any blockages that don't want sleep. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Foot baths. Okay? Load them full of Chinese herbs.
Okay.
Okay? You got to get witchy for yourself.
Yeah.
And literally put a sleep spell on yourself.
I think, yeah, part of it is actually embracing that part too, to know that it's okay to do all these things.
Well, it's more than okay. It's your birthright and legacy for yourself to love yourself at a new level. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Are your parents open to your education, to you doing work on them?
Somewhat. I mean, my mother, yes. Father, and once it gets to more esoteric, they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't
do esoteric. Just use acupressure and a knowledge of pressure points to make their neck and back and shoulders release. That's it. Okay?
Okay.
Help them get out of stress. By giving your brain something to work about that has a lot of love energy behind it will help tire you out at the end of the night too.
Okay.
Okay? Okay? Because again, it's just releasing the pressure in the shoulders. Very easy for you.
Yes.
Okay? Making them both take a foot bath and dabbling some herbs in there.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. That sounds like very concrete, simple fixes that I could do.
Mm-hmm. The next part about sleep itself, I'm willing to bet that this has been going on for a long time for you, on and off.
Yes.
Yes. How long ago did it really start? When you started school?
Yeah, well, I started school and started a relationship at the same time, basically, and it kind of.
Are you missing that person not sleeping next to you?
It was a struggle for a while, but I feel like I'm a lot better now. It took like almost a year, I would say.
Mm-hmm. But the body is still missing the safety of somebody sleeping next to you, which is another reason it's hard for you to fall asleep.
Okay.
Can you get a puppy or a cat?
Oh, I really want a cat. I want a cat so bad, a hairless cat.
Get one.
But I don't know if I it's just the time that I have to spend. I wouldn't want to neglect that little creature. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit to.
Stop waiting and just get it.
Okay.
Call it the Corona cat.
Oh my gosh. That's okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. There actually is something. So there is a cat that's around my home that kind of messes with me, and I don't know if I feel like he's very protective. Like he's always around. If I don't see him for a while, I'm kind of like send out something to him, like, where are you at? And he'll like come around, but he will like sneak into my house. Like is always just doing like funny things around the house. But I want like a cat that will actually let me like pet it.
Yes. That's why you got to get a kitten and teach it how to do that.
Okay.
Most cats have to learn the way of allowing people to touch them. Okay.
Okay. So you're not even saying like you don't need to miss anyone or miss that. You're saying like just get something that will actually fulfill that.
Yeah. Huh.
That's different.
Okay. Okay. You could also find Mr. Right Now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. He doesn't have to be the future. Mr. Right Now fills the void. As long as he's not a low frequency fuck. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Listen, everyone's on lockdown. You should be able to find something a lot easier than before. Okay.
Yeah.
Bars are closed.
Yeah, my Hinge is kind of popping right now. Everyone's replying. I don't know if anyone else.
Well, start a regular conversation. Okay. Okay. What are the three things you want out of a Mr. Right Now?
Well endowed.
Okay.
Passionate and kind. Just very kind and sweet.
Somebody that's got, massage skills.
Yes.
Okay. Make that a prayer and put that out to the universe.
Okay.
There's a lot of out of work massage therapists right now. Okay.
So do you feel that if I can get this type of sleep hygiene under control, then like
it'll go away fast. Yes.
Because even discipline with myself, like with my studies and like just things that I want to do.
That's your brain not being able to shut off in the parasympathetic saying, no, I got more studying to do. No, you got to get sleep so you can effectively study.
Okay.
All right, darling, I got to let you go and move on to my next caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, let's spin up that wheel of callers and see who's in lockdown and wants to have a conversation.
Okay, Sion, you are on with Andrew.
Sion, how are you doing from Barbados?
Yes, greetings, brother.
How are you doing today? Yes, I can hear you good today. How are things going?
Awesome. I'm thankful, very thankful. I'm a bit confused though, very confused.
What are you confused about?
About the whole corona situation, and also kind of somewhat being aware that we kind of create our own reality. So if we kind of like just change our frequency, that we can not really allow that frequency to come into our space. But hearing that is also a big purge going on in terms of this destructive system that we've been on for so long. So I'm just lost as to what's really happening.
So first thing to understand, you are a creator of your reality, but you must own your reality and own your responsibility to your reality at a high level before you can influence your reality for things to not come into it. And this is where so many people misunderstand the teaching of creator of your own reality. If you are not responsible to take care of your internal character flaws, phobias, and fears, you will not be a creator of your reality. The phobias and fears will constantly leave doorways open to you. That's why doing the inner work is so important, so that you can begin to understand the level at which you can influence your reality. Oftentimes I call it love and light. You're too much into the love and light and not enough into the actual practice of doing the inner work, closing down the flaws, phobias, and fears. By working on the flaws, phobias, and fears, you close the loopholes in which things can get into your reality.
Would the revocation daily do that?
That's just one aspect. Okay, a revocation is a mono form. You need to have other forms also, several different forms of practice over the week, so that you realize that you can't just cut the grass. The rest of the yard is going to look, kind of funky. You've got to trim the hedges, cut the grass, pull the weeds. There's a whole bunch of things that you should regularly be doing. Meditation is one of them. Revocations are one of them. Exercise is another one of them. Getting yourself a comedy state every day, at least once a day, finding a way to laugh, okay, and not forcing yourself to laugh, finding when you're super serious, how to take the seriousness out of you, how to find moderation in your world.
Okay, okay. And you had mentioned some fire, basically some kind of firework where you can be in front of fire. But what about the sun? Can we kind of like
Oh yeah,
paragraph
you can do
that
plenty of
intention?
plenty of things in front of the sun. What I advise people to do is to look at the sunlight with your eyes closed, so that the center of the sun is going right in between your two eyes, right on the brow of your nose. And what you're trying to do is open up the energy centers of the third eye to be act like solar collectors. And this is where you can project thoughts out the brow and into the brow, and allow the sun to fill up the inside of your brain, go down your spinal column, fill up your lungs, go down your arms and legs. So the sun is being taken internally, and you can charge up your internal solar batteries.
Awesome, awesome. Sometimes I honestly start to believe like I have a personal relationship with the sun because I'll be talking to the sun and getting like voices, not really voice, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like I would ask a question, like one question I asked a while ago was how to harness your energy, right? And then I got this download that I should inhale it and bring it right up to the top of my head and straight down to my spinal cord and then anchor the energy in my core.
And then
Can you
learn how to saturate every part of your body. So you can take a breath in, saturate your brain 4 or 5 breaths, saturate your skull 4 or 5 breaths, saturate the back of your neck 4 or 5 breaths, saturate your face until you've done a very effective saturation of the whole body, each part of the body getting 4 or 5 breaths.
Awesome.
Right? And allow the mental imagery of penetrating the cellular walls of your body, mind, and spirit, so the complex being that is you gets fully all this full sun energy.
Okay, okay. It's I tell person sometime after I come up a 7-year-old because I only start to understand things a little bit more like in 2013. So it's a lot to learn, and sometimes I struggle with discipline. So sometimes it's challenging to be consistent with doing these spiritual practices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I ask a question about my daughter?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so just everything happens very fast. But one time, while this is before the mom got pregnant, I was meditating, right? And I got this download that the mom came into my life to bring love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a daughter from the mother. But I'm curious to know why she come at this time, knowing a lot of this stuff is happening. You know, what's her purpose in this world?
To experience love.
Yeah.
That's the root of everyone's experience. And then you're the father, and are you going to be able to teach her how to accept love in the many forms and to not be gullible to negative forms of love?
But I come from I mean, I know that I can, but I come from a place where I never really experienced that kind of love, where I can remember one time telling my mom, like, you never even tell me you love me. Then she'd break down and start crying and like, I love you, you know? So experiencing.
So you have had somebody tell you love you. It just didn't come at the time you wanted it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I would love to be like a super dad, but you know.
Stop loving to be a super dad and just be the super dad.
Be the super dad.
And you can't, you one day you might be the super dad and one day you might not be the super dad. And that's part of living. You can't be super all the time. Otherwise you have these great rises and great falls, rise and fall, rise and fall. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. The more super dad you are, the more you're open to making mistakes.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So are we should be like really scared about this thing in Barbados? Because it recently they say we have 2 outbreaks here. But is it anything to really worry about in Barbados? Because I know like it's more like in Europe and certain places, but I don't know what to expect in Barbados because people are starting to panic. And I try not to panic, but I don't know.
Don't panic. Don't allow panic in. Panic only breeds hesitation and doubt.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Never allow yourself to panic. Otherwise, you're, again, going to experience just hesitation and doubt.
Okay. So can you shed any light on the stuff that Trump is doing behind the scene with the QAnon and all the soldiers going to Italy and Europe and all these CEOs resigning and all of that stuff. Can you spread some light? Because I'm thinking this corona.
Yep, I can. So first thing first, all the CEOs are resigning for a reason. Okay.
Yeah.
They're all going to come back after everyone's been failed. Okay. They are creating an implosion-based scenario because if they don't, there will be no economy to come back. So let's make this very clear. This virus caught everyone off guard. And they had plans to take the economy down, but not this far.
Yeah.
And the whole point of organized chaos, which is what they do, is that there's an organization and a goal behind it: problem, reaction, solution, solution, reaction, problem. And they can print that into the reality. A lot of these companies, these CEOs, left ahead of time because they knew in July and August that 2020 there was going to be a 4,000 or 5,000 point letdown, but it would have come right back, and then the big business would have gotten bigger and small business would have lost more. But the coronavirus has come and imploded all of the markets and is beginning to reveal how corrupt all the markets are. Okay. And there are a lot of CEOs who are stuck now, who cannot leave and who are going to have to follow through all the way to the end. Like majority of the hotels worldwide, if there's not some kind of global bailout package for the hotels, there will be no hotel industry to come back to.
Wow.
And there'll be no money to buy it. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So the government is put in a situation where it has to do good for the humans and the industry at the same time. And we're going to have to help hold the industries accountable and the governments accountable as they're beginning to deal with the fact that all of the markets in the entire world are oversold by 7,000%.
Wow.
Think about that. 7,000% oversold. Okay. Then we're going to learn that there's a secret banking system here. One in which why they did allow the mortgage-backed security market to be done to raise the overall value of the economy so they could bleed off money from this economy and put into another economy that is to build out the solar system. That's that off-world, that whole off-world system. Okay. That off-world system is going through its own crash right now. There is no off-world cash because the on-world groups are going through serious troubles. We fund the off-world build-out. So the off-world banking system is going through just as bad right now. And it's quite possible that that other side will be revealed because so many people in government are going to get sick and stuff's going to make its way out.
Yeah.
Okay. And things like Nicera and all those other global reset things, they're all garbage. And I've been saying that for years and 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 years. Unless the corruption is completely removed and the debt is put into its own vehicle, you cannot just erase the debt and think you can start over. It doesn't work that way. Go and study economics 101. You have to have a foundation in which to build on and a total acknowledgement of what the debt is. Right now, you have credit default swaps that haven't come in yet. That's another $25 trillion of debt coming on the system. Then you have all of the CDOs, credit default options, and then all the other insurance bets that people have been doing for the last 3 weeks that are going to have to get paid out. You're going to see another AIG failure, one in Japan, one in China, another in the United States, and another. You're not going to be able to bail out 4 AIGs during this. Boeing is going under. It's because all these companies have been doing stock buybacks and not spending money on preparation for any type of event. Okay, so we are going to have to hold everyone in government and business accountable to doing the right thing.
This is a lot to take in, but I still try to embrace the concept that it's a very beautiful time to be alive because, like something needs to give in order for us to move into that space where we live as one, where we start to trade in as opposed to everybody buying and, and just find some way to really unite as one and stop seeing, giving our energy to certain things, so it's a lot to take in, and not being very knowledgeable, sometimes it just makes you wonder a little bit, but I try my best to hold a good energy.
Yes. All right, brother, I got to let go and move on to my next caller.
Okay. Thank you very much and have a good one.
So I want to say this. I see a lot of things going on in the chat room, people agreeing to disagree. And the person that's saying May 28th, there'll be mass arrests, I will bet you $25 that there will be no mass arrests on May 28th, June 28th, July 28th, August 28th, September 28th, November or December 28th, or anything in the year 2020, there will be no mass arrests. And I will put $25 on it.
Wow.
Okay? There'll be nothing with Gitmo, nothing. It'll all be about keeping people focused to the global narrative in the news and keeping people locked up in their society so that you don't break quarantine. And that's what the global narrative is going to be.
I was betting on those arrests.
Okay? Not going to happen. You're all going to be owing me $25. Okay?
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Okay, take it easy. All right, Robert, let's spit up the wheel of callers and see who wants to have a conversation with me next. Robert, are you muted?
Yeah, I'm afraid to push my space bar. It makes things go crazy on my computer.
Your
Anyway,
your computer is possessed?
My computer has a virus, I think. Braden Anthony, you're unmuted with Andrew.
Braden Anthony, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, where are you calling from?
I am in Las Vegas right now.
Las Vegas. Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
Everything.
I'm getting some kind of echo from you. You got what's going on with your microphone there?
Just speaking through my phone. I could try to put my headphones in, see if that helps.
Yeah, put your headphones on.
I don't know why that happens sometimes. Give me 1 second.
Possessed phones.
Yeah. They don't want me talking.
Or it's just a crappy phone.
It works. It's weird. It's only with maybe it's not as good as. Okay, 1 second here. Yeah, I want to talk about everything.
Yeah, you got like such a weird sound coming through your phone. It's going to be impossible to have a talk.
Let's see if it turns on here.
All right, looks like it's turned off now.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Whatever the noise was in the background's gone now.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
pick a topic. Let's talk. Coronavirus, stock market, aliens. What do you want to talk about?
So what's going on behind the scenes? We know that this is all like a fear campaign, basically, to keep everyone inside.
There is a real virus. We're getting echo from you now. There's a real virus killing real people. It's not a full hoax. A lot of the conspiracy theorist presenters are going to have to learn real people are dying.
Okay.
And when real people are dying, is it a hoax?
Of course.
No, it's not. It's a real thing happening. Now that we can agree that it's a real thing happening, what does that mean when people are dying and there's an attempt to, let's say, control the entire world's outlook? Diversion, in which they can keep you looking in one direction while doing something else. Solution,
Right.
reaction, problem. Problem, reaction, solution.
Got my
Something's-
headphones working, sorry.
Yeah, something's going on with your phone again.
Now it's worse?
Yeah.
Did I turn it off?
All right, try say something now.
Any-
No, you're totally broken up.
Any idea what's causing it? Because my phone's not bad. It's new.
Actually, it sounds like something in your microphone settings. Okay.
Okay.
Or you just have a bad headset or headset connection. All right, it's kind of clear right now. So I was saying problem, reaction, solution, solution, reaction, problem. And they try to predict solutions and problems and reactions by imprinting people with high frequency forms of information. Now, the
Right.
conspiracy community is doing a good thing, even with the bad conspiracy theories that are out there. The government has to keep those all tamped down. So you're going to see a lot of attempt to censor everyone. And what happens when you censor everyone when they're all at home in their house? People get pissed. You're going to see a lot of people get kicked off of Facebook and kicked off of YouTube. A lot. Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
BitChute? Okay. There's only one place for them to go, and it's not a very good site because it's been hijacked by a lot of other people that have been kicked off of every other social media site. Okay?
Right.
You're going to see full-on Twitter wars. Okay? Disconnect from them.
I can already
disconnect from them.
Okay. Yeah. I do.
Listen, you're not going to miss the awakening. You're not going to miss anything. This is going to go on for many, many months. Okay?
Yeah.
You can turn on your information sources 1 hour a day and not miss anything.
True.
Okay?
True.
What are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Well, I'm working on going to Sedona. I'm taking a bus tomorrow, and I want to start building a pyramid there.
During coronavirus?
Yes.
You know, all the stores are closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not going to be it's just the template, basically. I'm just going to start building some.
Okay. This is, you feel that you're being felt to do this. I get that. So with your day, you're going to build that. Well, how are you going to eat?
I'll have food on hand. I'm good. I'm resourceful.
Okay.
I know how to get food if I need.
Okay.
I'll go to the stores that still have some.
What are you going to do if they like shut down all the traveling and everything, and there's, you know, a little resort town like, you know, that has no food left, which is quite possible. You have to think ahead.
True.
Okay. So you're asking before what's going on behind the scenes. All the different factions who are going to try to stay in charge all the way to the end are going to try to stay in charge all the way to the end. Okay?
Right.
That's what's going to happen. Now, there are a whole bunch of, let's just say, really negative people, not anything else, people in this world who realize that their power is being challenged by this coronavirus, like Saudi Arabia, who's now starting a full oil war with Iran, with Russia, which is going to put the shale oil industry out of business worldwide, which is going to destroy Africa. Yeah. It's going to destroy the whole the shale oil industry. Okay. What else is going to be going on? Massive implosions of companies. There's going to be a lot of corporate wars going on. Everyone trying to say, but it's about the good guys coming forward and making a collection of corporations who are going to go against the government status quo and decide if they're going to have the guts to put out some form of semi-secret technology that people can have hope in, and they can do an initial public offering where money will actually go into it by real actual investors.
Right.
Gold and silver are worthless to be put into now because we haven't hit the bottom. And my guess, the bottom of the United States stock market is 13,000.
Yeah, I don't see it completely crashing yet.
Well, it has to.
Not until a new system.
No system won't come in until well after it crashes. Because who's still in power right now? The G7, the G20 still in power, and all the technocrats and autocrats are still in power until they start dying off from coronavirus and people have to replace them.
Right. So how about the people that are saying they have corona, like some of the celebrities?
They have corona.
They do have corona?
Yes.
What about, why aren't there more people with corona?
Because they've only tested 5,000 people in the United States. The United States had no testing for the longest time. It's only until the last week where they actually started getting tests. Because it was so ill-fully prepared. This is why at the end of this implosion, there's going to be an attempt by humanity to say, we want to have global trials and tribunals against the people who did financial crimes against humanity. Why weren't there no tests, government? Why did you bail out the banks and not bail out the humans first?
Right.
Okay. All that's going to be going on, and it's going to require us to stand firm and tall and say, we want tribunals for financial crimes against humanity so we can rebuild an economy without the corruption built into it. Because our current economy is so corrupt, it's what's created this whole fallout.
Right. That's true. What about Bill Gates? There's negative and positive on his side.
Oh, yes. He's going to make a lot of attempts to make himself be seen by giving out money to all sorts of people. And it's not to make himself look any better. He already knows he is what he is. But he's going to, I will make this, I was going to say, he's going to make an attempt to give technology to the world government to help solve logistics issues. Like there's some really advanced AIs that are part of Microsoft, even though he's resigned from the boards of Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway, but he owns other forms of technology that can be given to the people to help solve logistics issues, to solve medicine issues, but at what cost will it come at?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
He knows he can make a really good name for himself and make up for all the bad shit that he's done over the years.
So is he trying to do that though, or do you feel like he's
all the big billionaires are going to try to do it? This is their ego, this is their arrogance, and this is their narcissistic side that wants to be gone down in history as the one that helped save the world.
Yeah, they cause it, and they try to save it.
He's not the cause of it, but Bill Gates is not the cause of it.
No.
The corrupt economy and the governments are the cause of it, and the people that allowed it to go on for years and years and years. There's no one person that's responsible.
That's true too. Very true.
All right, brother. I gotta let you go and move on to the next caller. I'm trying to get as many callers in as possible.
I was gonna try to ask about my past life, but I got you.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers, and who wants to talk next?
Okay. Let's see. Eileen Sullivan, you're up next.
Eileen, are you there?
I am here. Hi, Andrew.
How are you doing? Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Bray in County Wicklow in Ireland.
Oh, County Wick, Ireland. How are things going there with you?
Well, we're almost there. They brought in emergency legislation this evening in order to basically hold people if they have the virus for 2 weeks, and they put a sunset clause for November. That's what they reckon is not 3 months, 6 months, but November has been sort of really the end dates. They've put all the school exams and all on hold and so forth.
You're still dealing with a lot of flooding?
The flooding is easing a bit in the Shannon. I'm in the east, that's in the west. So it's eased a bit, but still struggling on. Yeah, indeed.
Okay. So how are you dealing with the coronavirus? Are you prepared for it over there?
Well, I don't know. They're not. I mean, there's been a lot of, the first thing they were trying to do, they imported about 3,000 North Italians the weekend before last into Dublin for a rugby match that was cancelled, but they didn't cancel the flights that were coming in. So we've had a huge, big, ballooning of figures in Dublin the last week, of course. So then there was a big Twitter storm to get them to close down the Patrick's Day parade and so forth. And then a lot of people people getting online and saying, we want this to close, we want that to close, the pubs to close, so forth. That was kind of happening and then they're responding to public opinion rather than the line that was coming down from the European Disease Centre of Disease Control. So that was what was going down. Forcing the hand of government through Twitter was a lot of people were doing.
That's an example of people marching in the digital streets and still getting something
done.
It
was unbelievable, Andrew. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like crowds, all these young people in Temple Bar, as you probably know, a big kind of hangout area, party in Dublin. And the Twitter storm came out and then the government moved again. So it's about the people forcing the hand via Twitter seems to be the really strong route here at the moment.
All those will be routes. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all those social media platforms will be really powerful platforms to force government to do the right thing.
Yeah, and we've had some very brave doctors who, like there's an oncologist, Professor John Crown, and various ones like that who came out and said, this is what the Irish government are doing is ridiculous, you know what I mean? And they got a lot of respect, do you know what I mean? So they were, and they managed to get themselves onto mainstream media as well, which is amazing, really. And they basically blew apart the previous narrative. But then they're coming with another narrative. Like you said, actually, it's exactly as you said a couple of weeks ago. The narrative is just breaking apart. Currently, loads of people are out of work, but the government are doing a sort of social payments for everybody, really. They've put rents, basically the rents are frozen, but nobody can be evicted. They've brought in that legislation as well. So I suppose you would consider socialist. I wouldn't really, but being in Europe, but because I would consider we have a right-wing government. We go way to the left of Bernie Sanders even, you know, to be in our right wing. So gives you an idea what's happening there. But people are putting together, there's a call out to ex-military personnel and doctors and nurses. People are coming back to Ireland. There's already been over 30,000 people, doctors and nurses responded to come back here to treat people. So that's been kind of really nice to see. It certainly brought a tear to my eye, people's commitment to each other. I had a funny experience though. The other side of it here in Bray, I went down the town to do a bit of business with the credit union, and I was surrounded by a group of young fellas who were about 14 who were trying to coffin me. I'm an L1 basically, you know, with grey hair and all the rest of it. And suddenly there was this flipping cop jumped out of her car. Well, mind you, your man didn't have a chance against me anyway. I've got a ferocious temper, you know, and tell you something, his nether regions were going to be kicked out of him. But the guard intervened. I don't know if the guard was intervening on his. We call them police, we call them guards here. Plainclothes cop, like nothing, like something out of an American cop, you know, thing, like nothing like I've ever seen here before. Jumped out and intervened. I think he's going to stop me from killing your man. I think the young fella. But that's just I have a very hot temper. But it kind of gave me, shook me up after, you know what I mean? That you know, I have that kind of fight response. So I've been battling the fear. I've been trying to do my practices, you know, coming to your revocations. I do what we call a Tara practice. It would come from the Tibetan tradition, but I kind of have a sense of Mother, Father, Goddess as source, as the connection. That's the face of the goddess to me, in a sense. So working with that, and then also working directly. We're doing a bit with Saint Germain with the ultraviolet, but also I connected with Source last week after it was one of the other lectures, you know, that you gave on the weekend, and it was teachings, I should say, and it was amazing because I just had that sense of connecting, just pure love, and I brought the virus in. There was an awful sense of love coming off the whole thing with Source and the virus. Maybe it's just my projection, but it was extremely powerful. I've been trying to figure out good ways to die because I'm of an age when if it gets me and I've got underlying conditions, it'll probably kill me. So I'm trying to prepare for death. So any insight you had about that would be
don't
great.
prepare for death, prepare for life.
Okay, I hear you.
Prepare for life. And
What way?
part of this anger and energy in you is cultural and learned. And
Oh,
what
yeah.
you do is try to bring out that anger in front of your higher frequency sources so they could help you temper it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Right?
Temper it.
Yes.
Right? Like forging steel, you got to temper your own anger.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay? The worst thing for you to do is get arrested and be inside a jail cell with a whole bunch of people with COVID-19.
Exactly. As I said to my husband, I said I took off quickly because I was afraid of being the other side of that squad car, you know.
Right.
Took off as fast as I could go. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it was kind of
okay.
funny.
It is
You know what I
funny.
mean?
It is funny. Yeah.
55-year-old L lady and a 14-year-old. Sorry, I have this funny sense of humor.
You got to have that funny. Maybe this is time for you to create some kind of stand-up Irish comedy. Okay,
Well,
really touch into that raunchy side and share it online.
Oh, well, there you go. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. A second person has said it. Another very spiritual stand-up comedian I know here. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Wow.
find out some stand-up stuff to do. Just record it with your phone.
Well, good idea. Excellent idea.
Yeah.
And I also have bipolar disorder, so I'm kind of thinking, what part of my energy is, you know, what kind of karma is that? You know what I mean? So,
It's Irish. It's Irish.
Really? Wow.
It's Irish. Okay.
What was it George Bernard Shaw said, Andrew? The biggest open-air lunatic asylum in the world.
Ireland. Australia's not far behind either.
True. So I've been kind of locking myself away, but I'm going to have to start going out, because I know this locking myself into the flat here, or apartment you'd call it, is not. I need to be getting more light and air and stuff like that, you know. So I have to not allow what happened yesterday to rattle me from
No.
not getting some exercise.
And
I
you
think.
got to allow yourself to just let go of the anger too.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't let it own you. Don't let it own you.
Yeah, because I think there's a ball of anger there, because I've been such an activist, you know. There's a number of us would work on various campaigns that were trying to stop our Freedom of Information Act at one point. As a group of 10 of us managed to change it at committee stage, and it's this real ferocious, you know, very clever but very ferocious anger, and I think that's what drives it, and I need to temper that, as you say. And what other ways would you suggest to temper it, Andrew? So I'm not blabbing on. I'm just very excited to talk to you. I'm a huge fan.
Give me a second. So comedy is going to be one of your natural outsources, because you got to let it out, and you can put that anger to creative comedy.
Right.
Even if it's not culturally appropriate or downright offensive. Okay? There will be some bunch of Irish people who will laugh with you, and other people. Just don't make it racist. Okay? Don't make yourself a hater.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
one part. The other part is you got to make a choice to not allow the information to overwhelm you.
Yes.
A lot of people get triggered hardcore because the information is overloading them, and then they go into a full adrenal gland reaction, and then they have fear, envy, doubt, hesitation, all that takes over, and then they just blow up.
Well, that's me.
Okay?
That's me in a nutshell.
Turn off the information.
Yeah.
Cut your internet usage in half.
Well,
Okay.
I tell you, I could cut it by 9/10, I think, you know.
Is there some place you can go fishing?
You know, there's plenty. Well, I've never really fished in my life. My father was a great fisherman, but I've never really fished in my life, so maybe I need to
Be a
fish.
perfect time. That's great social distancing.
Yeah, true, actually. Yeah.
Okay. For probably €15, you can, or 15 pounds, you can go get a whole block and tackle and everything, a rod, and learn to fish. Okay.
Wow.
Bring some music with you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trained as a musician and a singer, actually, Andrew, is my original thing. Yeah.
So sing and do music while you're fishing, and if you catch something, even better. The universe is working with you.
Yes, yeah. And then the other, so this is all about moving away from this preparing for death thing that's been going on my bloody head.
Just don't allow it to be a macabre viewing thing, because that what you look at looks back at you.
Yeah, that's true. There you go.
This is the opportunity for the Great Awakening. That means you got to be working on focused, positive things and not death.
Yeah, because I was just saying to my husband that I feel like this is what I've been waiting for all my life. I mean, this moment in time, it's a strange thing to say, but I think, you know, it's the chance for growth is exponential, personal growth, and everything.
It is. And that's why you got to let go of the anger, or you won't grow.
Yes, there you go.
Tell yourself that every day. I won't grow in the Great Awakening if I don't let go of this anger.
I won't grow the Great Awakening if I don't let go of this anger.
Pow. Yeah. And let that truth hit you every day, 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. That's the one. Gosh. I really, really appreciate it. Is there any other things you suggest to release that anger and not make myself look at flipping the mirror of death?
Do you have a way? Do you have any way to do any fire ceremonies?
Well, not hugely here, but I can obviously light candles, and I have the white sage and stuff like that.
No, an actual wood fire. Is that possible at all anywhere?
Yeah, it would be. It would. Yeah, I could do that.
Go do a fire. Go do it and make it an adventure, so you can have an actual fire ceremony and feel the actual natural element of fire working with you.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, we have a beautiful mountain nearby called the Sugarloaf Mountain, and it's got an extraordinary energy to it, Andrew. Just the most extraordinary stones on it. It's an amazing. It's just something about it that it has to be some kind of a garden pathway or something. You know, we used to call them the two of the Danann in our mythology, and there's that sense. But my father used to always say to me, he came from a much older generation. He was born in 1918. And it was like, he said, no, the two of the Danann are under the earth here, you know, at the Sugarloaf. Mm-hmm. He's that to me. So I have that sense of maybe it could be some kind of, I don't know, garden whatever, I don't know. But there's something strong there anyway. And doing a
Mhm.
fire ceremony there is where I'm attracted to do it. Would that
Mhm.
feel right to you?
That can be, but again, you got to use those energies in a more sacred energy. It's not just something you randomly tap into. So you
Yeah.
save those types of energies for the fire ceremony.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. The old random tapping in is something I have a great expertise in.
Yes.
Very undisciplined. Very.
Yes, very undisciplined, and it can be quite destructive at times too, because it's just information overload that you're not ready for.
That's right. Yeah. And it has happened indeed.
Right.
It has
All
happened, indeed.
right, darling, I got to let you go and
Thank
move
you
on to
very
someone
much.
else. Thank you so much.
I'm really, really grateful to you. You've really opened up my heart and mind and soul.
You're welcome.
Thank you very, very much, and much, much love to you.
And if you come up with any good humorous comedy as the global quarantine sets in, I'll be doing more shows. I'm going to bring on Monty Dean, and we're going to have a unique quarantine comedy hour. And anybody that comes up with some stand-up routine that's really good, I'll feature you on the show.
Oh, thanks so much. Well, I'll give it a go. That gives me something to get my teeth into, doesn't it? Thank you again.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot. All right, Robert, let's spin up that wheel of callers and see who wants to have a coronavirus comedy show hour conversation.
Okie dokie. Devika, you are unmuted with Andrew.
Devika, are you there? Devika.
Can't get her to unmute.
Hello.
There we
Hello.
go.
Hello, Devika.
Oh, yes. I'm so happy. Okay,
Hi,
good.
where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from India.
India, welcome to the show. How are you dealing with the coronavirus?
Lots of mixed reactions. Like sometimes I'm just like so happy and so ecstatic. And I'm like putting like loud music in my room and I'm dancing and stuff. Because I'm like, this is such a good opportunity to like manifest what I want and get really clear in my desires and stuff like that. And and then there are other times when I'm like, oh my God, I've listened to too many conspiracy theories today, you know?
So what is your government doing? There's not a lot of news making it over here, what India is doing to prepare for the coronavirus.
Yeah, actually, there are not many cases still found where I live near where I stay. But there have been some cases in some other states, and I've heard that they are taking measures, like they are trying to sort of purify the environment and stuff.
Are they closing any businesses down? Have they done anything like that yet?
Yes, I mean, not businesses exactly, but they have canceled some exams and tests. Where a group of people would have obviously gathered, and they've also given some leave for in certain cases. Like my mom, like her office has all the people are told to stay at home, but that's not happening everywhere. Like my dad is still supposed to go and he's having some trouble getting leave.
So they're beginning to deal with what's going on there.
Yes, and that's why I wanted to ask you that. So the thing is, India is obviously the second most populous country. So, you know, it can, that's the thing, it can, like if one person, like right now it's not that rampant, but if one person it's kind of easier to spread, you know, because it's populated. So what do you think what's going to happen according to what you see?
So two things are going to happen. The global news is going to start revealing that they're testing and that Europe is probably already 40% of Europe is fully infected. 50% of the United States is infected. And then China will probably attempt to tell somewhat of a truth, or it's going to say it's probably 60% affected. And then India, it has the capacity to do testing, but how fast can it roll out 15 million, 20 million tests?
Yes.
Even here in the States, you can't roll out 40 million tests in less than 2 weeks. It's impossible. The facilities don't exist. This is why this is going to be a very extended process. It's when the hospitals get overloaded in India is where India will decide how it's going to respond. Here in the United States and Europe, they're expecting the hospitals to be overloaded sometime next week or the week after that. Okay? That's why they're preparing everything early. But once the hospitals are overloaded and there is form of response, there could only be a draconian shutdown of everything. That's the only way to reduce the transmissibility rate from a high 6 to a low 1. Okay? A vaccine or any form of antiviral cure is still a year to year and a half away. Social distancing and quarantine are the only way to deal with high transmissible diseases. Now, how the cultures respond. Now, India has a very close-knit culture. People can be very friendly, but they can also be very anti-local neighbor if they're a faction that they don't like.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be a problem in India. Okay? And Modi is going to have to figure out how to get everyone to work together.
Yeah.
Okay?
So,
does he do that well now? Sort of. Sort of. And not at the same time. Okay?
Exactly. You answered your question.
The Hindus, the Muslims, all of them are going to have to figure out how to live together and not kill each other.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but I also want to know just one more question. I don't want to take up like a lot of time because I know there are others. So the one question I have is more personal. Like the thing is that obviously everyone needs to strengthen the immune system, and unfortunately for me, that's the one thing that it's not good for me right now. You know, I mean, even before the virus broke out, that's exactly what I knew was my Achilles heel. So now that this is exactly what, what's being targeted by the virus or what it affects the most, what should I specifically do in my case?
Specifically for your cases, obviously diet and keeping yourself healthy is the most important thing. Making sure you're getting enough protein every day. And then obviously good amounts of vitamin C, iodine, silver keeps your immune system building. But know that this virus, it goes after people with compromised immune systems. Do you have a compromised
Sorry, can you repeat what you said?
It goes after people with compromised immune systems.
Oh, yeah, that's me. That's why I'm asking me the question. Yeah.
What is the compromised immune system that you have?
So I have basically I have a lot of severe response to cold actually. So, for example, if I sometimes during winter was going on. So during winter, if I even leave the door open or a window open, and just like a little breeze comes in through the door, I'll instantly start sneezing and I'll catch a cold.
Okay.
So,
okay. It's very
common. That compromised.
It is in one level. So allergy to cold. There's a lot of people that have it, believe it or not. And that's actually something you can deal with your allergies with cold is wear more clothes. Yeah. Okay? Wear more clothes. Okay? That's the first thing. And no, that's your endocrine. That's your endocrine system. So you're going to want to find somebody that can give you B12 in shots, or if you can find methyl B12 in pills. Okay. And then you're going to want to probably, I know you've got Indian traditional medicine there too, but they'll have things that can boost your immune system for this.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so what about inflammation and stuff like that?
Do you have inflammation going?
Yes, very, very frequently actually. I have noticed that I get fever very quickly after I get stressed.
Stop being stressed.
Yeah, okay, that was a no-brainer.
What can you do to stop being stressed? Stop paying attention to the panic.
Oh my God, yes. And watching Friends is a good idea.
Okay, stop that. Stop that. Change what's looking at you. Change the channel at your audio information coming at you. It's not putting your head in the sand. You've got a compromised immune system. The world's going crazy. You could look at it 1 hour a day and you're not going to miss anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So there's no. Okay, I think. Okay, this is not that complicated. Okay, thank you.
No, you've been living with this for a while, and like I said, it's what can you do to stay out of stress? But you also have to be creative. Okay, what do you do for your creative fun things?
Okay, this is a really fun question. So, like I said, I when I'm in a good mood, I put on some really good music that's uplifting, and I like dancing. And I love writing. So
Okay.
That
What do you
could
like to
be-
write?
Oh my God. Okay, so I like writing imaginative stories
Mhm.
where there is like no limit and no bounds to, like there are no limits basically, you know? Yeah.
So like fantasy, sci-fi, what kind of themes?
Okay, so if you have to put it into like categories, I would say something like for children's fiction, but also something romantic. So I can't really put it into one category.
Well, then this is for you for you to try to write one story a day that has dialogue in it, so you can explore as many genres as possible. A story can be
yeah, that sounds-
five pages, and
Huh.
you come up with 3 character names. So one's a love story. That's 3 characters. There's a triangle of love.
Oh
The
my
next
God, don't
story-
do that. Please don't do that. I do not
No,
like
you
that.
got to. You got to have fun with it.
That's
You got-
stressful for me.
No,
Oh my
it can be
God,
very, it can be very fun. Yes. Well,
Okay,
one
maybe
girl
I
with
could
one girl with 2 guys in love with her. Okay.
Oh my God, I could make them gay in the
Yes, you can make them gay at the end, and the woman has to go.
Yay.
Ah, exactly. Okay.
end. Okay.
It's your story. You can do whatever you want, and
Yeah,
the readers won't know until the end, and that's called a swerve. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And then the 2
Yeah.
guys fall in love with each other and leave the woman on the side. Okay.
Okay.
The next one you're going to do is a sci-fi story. Just research one science, people on a space station, and what's life like there. 5 pages. Pick another one and another one. Just be as creative as possible.
Oh my God, this sounds fun. Yeah, good idea.
And then start posting them. Post them online for free.
Yeah.
Something that takes 15 to 20 minutes to read.
Okay. Yeah.
And work dialogue. Dialogue. Is what will.
Okay, why do you say that? Why?
Because it's the easiest thing to write when you're really trying to be super creative. Characters talking to each other. Because you don't need to create a whole world and a background for them.
Yeah, that can be stressful actually.
Right, it can be. I know this.
It takes one to know one. Okay.
Exactly. I write stories also, and I have a gigantic series of worlds that I built, and it was a pain in the butt to write dialogue until I created the world, and then I forced myself to just write dialogue without worlds, and it was some really fun stuff to write.
Cool.
Okay, something else you can try is you've got a lot of cultural idiosyncrasies in India. Pick one out and make fun of it. Cultural, you have a lot of cultural idiosyncrasies. A certain way men act to women, how women react to men. Pick 1 or 2 out and make fun of them. Okay.
Oh yeah, I could. I have never tried that before.
Yeah,
I could do that.
It'd be easy for you to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make fun of them. Okay.
I do that anyway in my head, but yeah, I could put that on paper.
Easy, you could put it on paper. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And then try one serious story. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, darling. I got to let you go and move on to my next caller. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, Robert. Let's spin up the wheel of callers. This is going to be our last caller.
Okie dokie. Vanya, you are on with Andrew.
Vanya, are you there?
I'm there. Hello, Andrew.
Hello. How are you doing? Calling from Canada, right?
Yes, you remember me.
Yes, I remember you. I had you go through your past, present, and future and see yourself many different ways.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. How are things going with you?
I can't complain. Oh, yeah, I have been laid off due to corona, but that's okay.
Robert, I think you got to mute. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you said you got laid off?
I did get laid off due to corona, but it's okay. So I'm just concentrating on my work right now.
And what is the work doing?
I'm actually going to be working on people's DNA, and I'm going to work on actually correcting problems in their systems. So things in their physical body to help them release and realign. And sorry, I'm breathless. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
So I'm planning to do that type of work, physical work. And I was actually thinking about doing some work on basically, the words that you always say drive me crazy because it's exactly how I want to say it, but you beat me to the punch. So I was actually going to do some videos on talking about to the world how people are not in the right frame of mind right now. And around here in Canada, there is an incredible amount of panic going on. Environment, there's a lot of people worried. And every time I actually go out, I have to deal with all of that.
No, you don't.
Well, true. I don't.
You're choosing to, which is overwhelming you.
Yeah. Yeah. I clean myself off and I rebalance myself.
But there's still a flaw in the armor, though.
Yes. Okay. So. And
that's DNA work to do on yourself. Because the last great awakening we went through as awakened and aware beings trying to get a world to do up, it all backfired on all the healers.
Right.
And that's a spiritual trauma that's millions of years old.
Okay. So what do we do to remove that aspect?
Good question. First thing first is to acknowledge that it's a flaw in the spiritual armor.
Okay.
The actual armor that you've created needs to be redesigned at the DNA level.
Okay.
You've got to shed the old armor and build it up from the ground up.
Okay.
Okay. So how many DNA rungs are in how many DNA strands do you have?
At this current point?
Yeah.
Excellent question. I have no idea where I'm at. I don't know if I've developed any further. I have no idea. So I don't know.
You have the standard amount of strands that everyone else has.
I was hoping you'd say I was getting half of one more.
No, you got to get rid of 3 or 4 strands that are bringing in the character flaw of the old awakening and bring in new strands that replace the flawed strands. This is what the awakening is about, is recognizing that the 24 strands of DNA that we're currently supposed to be using, 7 of them are flawed.
7 are flawed. Okay.
7 are flawed, which creates the chink and the loopholes that keep us trapped in repetition without illumination.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So it's identifying the 7 loopholes that create flaws.
Okay.
Think about, what do you see people that are loopholes in their auras that allow things in? You should be able to, they're obvious if you really look at them.
Yeah, abandonment, fear, doubt, shame, blame, guilt, that kind of stuff. Yes.
And information itself. How you process information itself. The belief engine.
Right.
Okay?
That colors our way of seeing and understanding and processing information. Right. Got it.
There you go.
Okay.
So the first strand you want to work on is the shame, blame, guilt strand.
Okay.
The second one is the depression, obsession, and regression strand.
Right.
Okay. The third one you want is belief engine strand.
A belief engine strand. Okay.
Right. That determines how you see all that is, was, and ever will be and perceive it. As a limitation or as an infinite perception that is yours to own.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. These are really powerful nuggets of information. Holy Lord.
Well, then the next level here. Okay. There's the external validation strand.
Oh, yeah.
How many people are suffering that everything is external validation and I will never internally validate my worth?
There's way too many of us out there. Yes.
That is a hard strand to work on. And it's going to require some really focused DNA surgery to get at the roots of the soul that's holding it as a program, lifetime to lifetime to lifetime.
Okay.
Okay. Then the next one.
Okay.
Your memories, how memories are stored in light strand. This determines how a memory is encoded, if it's lots of energy behind it or little energy behind it. Every memory should have powerful energies behind it and not limited by the sympathetic and parasympathetic, which are determining what is remembered or not. When it's the soul's purpose with the I am inside to determine what's remembered or not.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay. Then the last one is, how many senses do you have?
5 or more.
Okay. Is that a limitation?
Yes.
That is the next final strand to work on.
Yes. The fact that we are multi beyond that.
And that's the limitations of our DNA flaws.
Okay.
And those were intentionally put into us around 12 million years ago.
Okay. So
Okay.
am I on the right track to say that that's what we have to work on over the next 8 months till September, or past September, October, November?
You can't give this time. It's not a time thing.
Okay.
Because it's going to be an asymmetrical self-surgically process that has no linear logical process to it.
Okay.
You do one, we'll unlock 7 more. You unlock those 7, it locks something else. You unlock that, it unlocks 7 more, until you realize that you have to go in an asymmetrical, nonlinear, non-logical path at it. You can't perceive it linear or logically.
Right. I understand that, actually. I really do.
Okay.
Have you, okay, I don't want to cut this off because this is really, really good stuff. But my question is, have you tuned into the frequency of the virus and asked it what its purpose, what it's wanted to do?
Yes.
By creating itself? And
yes. Back in early January and early February, I recorded about 12 hours or 10 hours with Andre about that exact subject, talking to the virus and everything that was going to happen. And I intentionally did not release it until the whole world is really under quarantine. Because back then, no one would have heard it.
Right.
Okay. And I will begin to release that information as quarantine takes over. But I've had full multi-hour, full radio show conversations with the virus. Yes. Okay.
I know there's always a purpose behind why it was created by, like, I'm not sure whether it was dimensionally created or was it just manifested out of nowhere. I have no idea. I did listen to those shows, but I don't remember hearing exactly where it was created from. But I guess that doesn't really quite matter at this point. Is there something energetically that, other than working on the DNA strands and stuff like that, is there something energetically, like your glorious work that you did with the golden cylinders around your cells and so on and so forth? Is that something that we could do, like a silver shield sort of thing, to work with the virus to avoid it attacking our physical self and the ones that we love? Or...
How about you just make peace with it?
Well, that's
and make a symbiotic relationship with it.
Okay. Wow.
Because that virus, once you get it, it is changing your DNA.
Right.
And you're changing its DNA. That's why it's spreading so fast.
Okay.
It's a DNA-based virus. It's affecting the DNA that's on the surface farm. It's also affecting the DNA that's on the subsurface and astral realms, and spreading into other dimensions via the debt vehicles that we all share.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
Right.
So this is like a massive, this virus seems like it's wanting to work on all possible levels within.
Well, it's also awake and aware, and it's not one collective virus. It's millions of individual beings who never got the chance to be in humanity's frequency.
Whoa. So
all the people that were locked out via the archons over the last 11 million years are coming in as a virus. It isn't arms and legs, but it's still a chance to be a part of the awakening.
That's fascinating. Okay, that just opens up a whole nother doorway of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So by them having them coming in and actually infiltrating, in a way, it's technically infiltrating and becoming part of people's physical experiences by becoming part of their DNA, therefore they are actually going to have a living experience. And are they going to be correcting karma themselves?
When that virus dies, it gets to have a life review that it never had to have before, and then can move on to the next dimension, because many of those people that are viruses are former Lemurians and Atlanteans who never got to come in because the Archon grid locked them out.
Wow. Blowing my mind open here. Blowing my mind open.
You're welcome.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. As always, hey, you're like my favorite. Thank you so much for that. I don't want to lose this. What other question can I pose? I'm trying to ask myself out loud. Help me to expand upon this amazing information and grappling with it. So, okay, is this going to be like resetting all the timelines then?
Well, right now, this virus is bleeding over onto other timelines, following the lines of debt vehicles.
Okay.
But the negatives are trying to take mass amounts of people who have the virus and split a shard of them off and move it into a fake timeline. So there's less people that actually have the virus.
But that's not good.
No, hold on. That's what they did during SARS and swine flu to keep the global pandemic off, because the big bad guys don't want a global pandemic. We are their debt vehicles.
Okay.
And if we understand we're their debt vehicles, they can put all their debt onto us and they're never going to have to collect on their own karma. And this virus is a karma collection vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Okay? It's a karma collection vehicle.
Okay. Wow. That means that if it's a karma collection, okay, from my limited minor understanding of things, if it's a karma collection vehicle, is it going to collect also the stuff that we have tied? Like, okay, so I'm just seeing all these types of possibilities here. When the virus comes in, and you said it's like millions of different beings taking the form of the virus and infiltrating into people's bodies and becoming part of them, changing them to have the experience and release. So that way they if they're collecting the karmic DNA of everybody they infiltrate. So
no, you can't look at this linearly or logically. You'll only confuse yourself into circular logic that can't be circular to see this.
Okay. So I have to go further up.
No, you have to expand your way you ask and receive on this subject matter. One of the reasons I'm blowing your mind is because I'm using asymmetrical, non-logical, nonlinear observation without time as a definition.
Right. Okay.
Time is one of those things that this DNA is trying to surgically DNA remove from us.
Okay.
Roman numeral debt-based time.
Ooh. Wow. That would mean if Roman numeral debt time is removed, that's
why the economy is being imploded at a time that it is, because the darks never wanted the economy to be imploded this way. They wanted organized implosions in which they can take more of your power away from you time after time after time.
Got it.
Now, everybody being home on quarantine means everyone has a chance to do what? Not be at work and do their own natural work.
That's exactly what I want to talk to people about. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But most of them aren't going to be ready because their energy bodies are still going to be at work.
Okay.
They're going to have to learn to recall their energy bodies from their places of work, which have occupied them for many generations.
Right. Defined, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's why the most effective tool one can learn about dealing with the virus is how to have a symbiotic natural relationship. Just like when the Native Americans know how to go through the forest and the animals won't attack them.
Right. Right. Wow. Okay. So people who have died from this are fighting it?
No.
Okay. So then
anybody that's going to pass on inside their lineage is some type of debt that was placed there.
Okay.
Or they created, and that it's come calling, but their life review is going to reveal why they've passed from this.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
It's going to show them the Archon grid and what's happened the last 12 million years, and that their death is not in vain.
Right. Wow. That would clear up a lot for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is all good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
something else to understand is a lot of people are going to have a lot of trouble. Well, my aunt and my uncle, my mom and my dad died.
Yeah.
Well, that's mourning. That's a lesson. People die all the time.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to learn to forgive even the virus, just like we're going to have to learn to forgive the cabal if we're going to have a true awakening.
Right.
Okay. We have to be stronger than them and yet more wise than them. And we have a period of time in which we can come to terms with all of that, the true awakening to our inner God selves.
That's exactly what I was aiming for the work that I'd like to do for the next little while.
Mm-hmm.
Any other nuggets of advice that you would like to add to that? Based off of my possible probabilities of how I can work with that.
Okay, so if you're going to be doing the DNA strand reorganization and surgery, you're going to have lots of other subject matters that are going to bog you down from doing the actual reconstruction of the strands.
Right.
So you have to realize there's going to be all sorts of stories that pop up, what ifs and gamed out scenarios of what ifs. Those are alternate timelines where alternate DNA forms of you who don't have the true relevance on this timeline.
Okay.
So it's about the true relevance of this timeline, which is going to be unraveled and unwoven once people are in a greater state of disconnected from the Babylonian black money magic system. That's why you have the greatest advantage of waking up now. The black magic money system is in complete turmoil.
Yes, it is.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. I feel it. I get it. I do. Is there am I shooting in the dark? Am I doing something wrong? Should I be
don't doubt yourself.
Okay.
Just try to really learn asymmetrical, non-logical, non-linear observation and apply it to your implementation.
Okay. I'm going to have to pull that into myself for the next little bit to
make that a series of guided meditations.
Yes.
Okay. So that you can really expand your awareness into it.
Sorry. Yep. Uh-huh. I can, sorry. Yep. Stuttering a little bit still sometimes. I can definitely feel the energies as you're speaking. Maybe you're doing something on your end, but I can definitely feel it shifting in my body. Okay.
Definitely. So the next thing is, I told you that this was a karmic debt vehicle.
Yes.
There are certain people that have debt placed in their frequency by others from millions of years ago, and their lineage has had no way to remove this.
Right.
And this virus is there to remove the debt. It may require a death, but I'm going to say there's going to be a lot of people who will survive the coronavirus with full-on near-death experiences, and the hospital workers will be overwhelmed with the stories.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Overwhelmed with, and there will be miracle healings inside those hospitals, but there will be death still. It's an inevitability.
Yeah.
Okay?
Understand. Yes.
Those that can't won't be a part of it, because that's the nature of the awakening.
Right.
Okay? For whatever reason, most people have debt in their frequency that they didn't create. It was created by ancestors who no longer live on this world. And that's why this virus is multidimensionally transmitting itself to other places and spaces that were the original creators of the debt.
Right.
Okay. All the time travel stuff that's been tried to do by the darkies is backfiring on them now.
Yay.
Okay. And if you want to build up a new form of endurance, it's the non-logical, non-linear self-observation.
Okay.
Okay. Asymmetrical. Really explore those words. Look them up in the definition and make that mean something to you.
I will definitely do that.
Okay. And another thing that we can understand that the amount of people that are going to get sick is going to get very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. Okay.
So you think that most of the population on the planet of the Earth will actually have this?
I'm saying 85% of the world will get sick.
Wow.
Of that 85%, 20% will get serious sick.
Okay.
That's around 40 million to 60 million.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Now, of that, what will die, 40 to 60 million will die, about 3% will die.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of people. That's just from round one.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. Is this
That's round one. That's just round one. Okay. The thing with this virus is many people survive it and have it's like a mild flu for them. And then they get it back again and it kills them because they have a heart attack. That's why they're taking such draconian stances right now. And that what's going to happen is this is going to play out all the way to late August and September. And they're going to keep giving you the bait. We're going to come out. We're going to come out. No, we're not. We found new things. We found new things. We found new things. And don't be afraid of words. They're culling the population. No, it's not a culling of the population. It's a balancing of the population.
Yes.
And if they let it out too early, what will happen? They will not be able to restructure the government and the banking system, and they will fail at their job of taking over humanity.
Right.
Okay. This is why this type of outlook and expression that's going on is the greatest thing for humanity to happen, because Team Dark isn't ready for this.
Yay! Sorry.
Okay.
Yep. Wow. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. And it answers so many questions that I had. Thank you for your brilliancy. Please. Okay. I'm just going to ask this dumb question. Okay. Are you having an exit point with this?
What do you mean exit point?
Like, is it a possibility that if you get sick, do you know if you're going to be leaving at all?
This is what I've said since day one of being public. I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. And if I did, there'd be no point for me to be here.
Good point.
Therefore, true. I don't want to know when I'm going to die. Why would I want to know when I'm going to die?
True.
I have free will, don't I? I want to express it up to the last damn second.
And so you shall. I know that.
Right.
I just want you to keep going, because you have been the biggest, brightest, shining light that I have ever encountered. And your morals and your integrity is incredible.
Thank you.
And I applaud you from now, this timeline to all future timelines. All my ancestors are so grateful that you existed now. And I'm so grateful for you. Like, I can't even tell you. You have taught me so much, and I'm becoming better because I listened to you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay. Now, the world is at such a unique, multi-dimensional crossroads.
Yes.
Okay. Now we need to learn to read the map. The map that our ancestors have painstakingly created, and that is how to get in touch with nature again.
Okay.
Okay. And it's not a hard map to read. It really isn't. The footsteps of the ancients are still, we can still see them on the energy grounds around us.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That lifted an imprint for sure. That opened up a door right now. That did. Wow. Okay. I don't even know what else to say. What is I don't even know. I'm lost. I'm just so blown apart right now. Wow. What's the most important part of the nature? Is there specific things for specific people? Like, some people are better with the water aspect, some people better with mountains, some people with forests and rocks and crystals.
Yes, to all those.
Okay.
And then there's some people that can only function in the concrete jungle.
Right. Yes.
And then there are those that have spent a long time away from the concrete jungle. And guess what? The universe is going to ask them to operate in the concrete jungle.
Rebalance.
Mm-hmm. Because the humanity is going to need thought leaders to help people think the right way.
Right. Wow. I'm definitely going to have to find a way to book a 1 hour private with you, because I have 1,000 more questions right now. Oh my God.
Well, as we get closer and closer to the total global lockdown, the shows that I recorded with Andre in January and early February, I'll begin to release those. Mm-hmm. And it's going to help answer a lot of questions. And one of the reasons I chose not to, because of the 3 laws of truth. First, it's laughed at. Second, it's violent and implodes, and then it becomes self-evident to everyone.
Right.
As it becomes more self-evident, and it'll be far easier for everyone to understand. And then when people are in lockdown, they're not in their work, they've had a chance to do some of their own inner work, they might actually be able to perceive what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand. I feel that. I get that. And wow.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, Andre, and Robert, and everybody there. Thank you.
You're welcome. Robert, we're going to bring on Monty Dean for our last call. I want to do one more. I want to throw a little multi-dimensional swerve at everyone.
Monty, you're unmuted.
Monty, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I went shopping and bought mints, so everyone wins.
Yay, minces for everyone.
Yes, because apparently it's like gold here in Australia. So I have to go to 3 different stores, but I'm bucking the system. Take that.
So you and I just recorded a show and you put it up on your YouTube. Tell people how to get a hold of it.
If you go to YouTube and just put in Wafer Thin Entertainment or Monty Dean, and it should come up. And it took forever to load, so please go watch it, because it was like sitting there going, "Oh, this is so boring." But it's over 2 hours long. Also, it's on Anchor FM. So yeah, if you just go, internet search The Monty Dean Show, you'll be able to find it. And if someone can actually put in I should find I don't know if I can find the link, but it should turn up in the chat eventually. And we sort of we did it over a couple of days this week, and interesting conversation. I'm getting good feedback from it. Apparently, I'm good at interviewing.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I have to say, yes, you are quite good at interviewing.
Oh, good, because I don't know nothing. That's why I ask questions.
We touched on a lot of subjects and a lot of stuff that will help trigger people into different ways into thinking.
Yeah, that's sort of what I go for, is just the classic line. I'm not telling you what to think, but I'm trying to make you think. And from my perspective, where creation's a kaleidoscope, and so as you pointed out, everyone's right, which I find fascinating. So there isn't that whole thing of I'm right, no, I'm right, and no, I'm right. It's like, well, you're all right, and it happens at the same time. Let's figure that one out.
Exactly, because that's going to be one of those aha moments. Wait, everyone's right, but my ego, it says I'm right. But we're right, and then not right, and then right and not right again. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
My connection was lost, so yay, the internet's working again. Oh, speaking of internet, interesting enough, apparently Google's algorithms changed, and you can search things more now, which I'm finding. I'm wondering if we have a bit of a squiz at that. Is this part of the ripples of the coronavirus going out? Because very quickly, Mr. Rowe from Revolution Radio, he came back on Facebook after a year of being off, and YouTube has reinstalled Revolution Radio's channel.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so apparently someone's found out that Google has changed its algorithm where the securities, they're not suppressing as much. And I do find that interesting, since most people are going to be stuck in a room for the next 6 months and most likely be online.
Well, probably what's actually happened is Google and YouTube have removed the amount of people physically over reviewing shows, and the algorithm, there's probably a person that keeps clicking, no, don't bring back, no, don't bring back, no, don't bring back. Yeah. And it's just allowing channels to come back because there's no oversight person anymore.
So the algorithm's working for us now. Excellent.
Well, there's other things going on. Google has a white hat group inside it that is going to make some serious attempts at changing the way the heuristic looks for things, without its upper ups being known that it's being changed, and then insert backdoors in which certain forms of viral information can have a chance to make it out before it's tamped down.
Yeah, so the cracks, there'll be more cracks in the dam.
Well, again, it's a fifth column inside Google itself.
Yeah, okay.
And there's a lot of other corporations that are going to have do the right thing people, because they're working from home now and they're not on their servers, which is the biggest technological issue for all these major corporations. There's no real computer security anymore. and you're going to see a lot of major hacking going on.
Yeah, so basically, to shorten everything into about three words, they've lost control. Not total control, but it seems like
it's at a very fast. It's like a restaurant that's packed, and people aren't getting their food for 20, 30 minutes. There's a lot of complaining.
Yeah, I'd see that. I'd file that under control, but I can see where it's not total chaos.
Right.
But it's because I worked in restaurants and I was a dishwasher. So I was at the other end of like, can you hurry up? Yeah, but you want this clean?
Right. You want it clean? Exactly.
Why are you so slow? Because I'm cleaning it. Duh. Anyway, I mentioned in the chat earlier where like Team Dark's kind of freaking out and the viruses come in, and I jokingly put in, so Team Light have started Operation Cough.
Haha, that's good. Operate cough on everyone.
Yes, and apparently, because you mentioned Twitter earlier, and I go on for comedy. Well, I see you coughing already. For comedy and shit stirring, but the trick is with Twitter is like, okay, that's enough. Like, if you feel the energy being sucked, anything with social media, for me, it's a good exercise of like, after seeing 3 posts and negative, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to put this down and walk away and say hello to my cat and stay in my physical bubble. That's the trick, trying to find out when to let go. But apparently all the Team Woke, they're you can't call it Chinese virus because that's racist, and my brain went, well, okay, we'll call it yellow coffee then. Which is highly
even worse. Exactly. Even worse.
Exactly. Well, if you're not gonna, because people, So go ahead.
Team Woke is going to be stuck at home, and they're going to be some of the most sorriest individuals out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that end up getting Twitter banned.
Yeah, because they won't have a way of expelling their energy as their engines are firing along. Yeah. Also, just to add to Team Woke, what Antifa go out of their minds, because if they try and go outside, they'll meet real resistance.
They got no one to beat them up either, because everyone's indoors.
Exactly. It's like, well, that tree's looking funny at me. So basically, that section of society, the Team Woke, though, because they're not feeding on energy, they'll slowly crumble. That's sort of what one way of saying it, isn't it?
They'll cannibalize themselves, and they will turn other.
Yeah.
You're not woke enough. I'm going to attack you for not being woke enough. You didn't like my post. I'm going to turn on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, J.K. Rowling had that problem, where apparently she's not woke enough because she defended someone said that in the trans thing, a man's a man, a woman's a woman. She got fired, and J.K. supported her, and the wokeness just turned on her. And she's one of the biggest lefties out there. And this is why you don't try and pick a team. You just step back and observe and use common sense. Don't engage with the wokeness. As Andrew just said, they will eat themselves to death.
They will cannibalize themselves, yes.
Yeah. And it'll be funny too, because just the mental gymnastics, it's just going to go over and over and over.
So I call them the wokesters. Instead of banksters, wokesters.
Oh, yep.
Okay. So disengage with the wokesters, unlike their page, stop it from being in your feed, ignore them. That's the greatest thing you can do, is to make them irrelevant to your greater growth.
Yeah, because even if there's you poison the well, even there's a little taint, their energy still gets in. And
that's right.
You don't really need. I mean, you've got important things to do, like working on yourself. And if we've got stuff that's 12 million years old, I don't need Jerry coming in saying, "Oh my God, you said this." Go away.
Okay. So we're going to end the show. Thanks a lot for coming on. I just wanted to let everyone know that the show, they can go in. So if they want to go and listen to 2 hours more of us talking, they can head over to your channel, Wafer Thin Entertainment.
Yes. And also on Spotify, not on Apple yet, but on multiple things. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for listening. I think, because it's sort of scatterbrained, but there's a stream of consciousness. and it's pretty recent. And so I think some of the questions that have been asked in chat may be answered in that show.
Yes. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch you next week. And as we become more and more into quarantine, I will be doing more and more shows to help you occupy your quarantine time. All right, everyone, take it easy. We'll catch you next week.